We just got our first glimpse of Black Ops 6, and it looks like it could be the best Call of Duty in years. The changes, the visuals, everything feels incredibly fresh, and that's before we even get to see multiplayer or Warzone, which we'll get to in August. In this video, I'll be diving into the exciting new features and why you should be hyped too, so stick around and let's get into it. Okay, so for me personally, I'd say the biggest thing that's got me excited for this game isn't the gameplay or just any of the mechanics to it, it's actually the setting. So Black Ops 6 is set in the 90s, and that's kind of like with the whole Gulf War, kind of like Desert Storm era, so that whole time in history as far as like warfare goes just kind of has like its own like aesthetic to it, right? You got that really cool Desert Storm camo that everyone was wearing, dudes were rocking the M416 with just iron sights, and I think for me it's just I really like the tech that we used back then. I feel like nowadays most shooters are just kind of leaning more towards sci-fi, and I really don't like that. So I'm really happy to see that they're going with this setting for the next game. A really big feature that's coming to Black Ops 6 is actually a huge overhaul on movement mechanics. As you move your character around the map, it's going to feel a lot more dynamic and fluid. So for example, you'll actually be able to sprint in any direction of your character moving. So not only will you be able to sprint forward like you have in, all the other Call of Duties, but you'll actually be able to sprint backwards and left and right as well. And this all just works completely fluid and you don't have to do anything. On top of that, you'll be able to chain your movements, and there's going to be sliding and diving in any direction as well. So for example, if you guys want to sprint towards a doorway and dive through it sideways, Max Payne style, you'll be able to do that. A really good analogy that they gave about how this system and how they want it to feel is they said that they want you to feel like an action hero, which I think is hilarious. Another really big improvement to the game that I didn't expect, but I'm actually really excited to hear about this, is the changes to the single player campaign. Aside from the clips that we saw of the campaign, and in my opinion, it just looks amazing, they're actually doing some really different things with the campaign. So the first one is that there's actually going to be some kind of decision making in these different missions that will actually breed into some replayability almost. There's going to be a bunch of different ways to tackle certain situations in the different missions. Now, we don't know the extent of this, but some of the things that they did talk about was the option to go soft or quiet in certain missions, so you can, play stealthy or just run and gun if you want. And then also another thing that I thought was really interesting is that during your mission, as you're trying to get through and get access to certain areas, you can actually talk to some of the NPCs and try to like smooth talk your way through them. Now, I don't think this is going to be like some Baldur's Gate RPG type elements of complexity here, but it does sound really cool, and I do like that they're trying new things. Another really cool feature that's happening with this game is the HUD customization. So basically what they're saying is you're going to be able to move things around and customize the HUD to your liking. So for example, if you want to have your minimap in the top left of your screen, you could definitely do that, or in the bottom right. It doesn't matter, you can just move stuff around to however you like. And while I do think this is a small change, I think this is a really cool feature that is going to be really fun to play with. Another really cool kind of back-end feature is the changes to the hit registration. So in prior games, there was only a few areas where the game would register hits on your character, and then, they would cue the ragdoll physics for your character's death animation to play out, and your character would fall to the ground and die, right? But it looks like they've actually updated this and added a bunch of more locations to the hit reg. So what this basically means is that your character's death animations are going to be a lot more dynamic. On top of this, we've also got the prestige system coming back to the game. So it looks like Black Ops 6 is going to launch with 10 prestige ranks, and then after the 10th rank, there's going to be a prestige master with 1,000 levels. And with that are going to be a bunch of cosmetic items and stuff like that to get for those crazy and truly insane players that just want to farm ranks. We didn't get a lot of multiplayer gameplay reveals here, but they did say that at the launch of Black Ops 6, we are getting 16 brand new multiplayer maps. And for me, that is music to my ears. There's nothing worse than a brand new game coming out and only having a small number of maps to play. We're also seeing a return to theater mode, so you guys will be able to watch your replays and stuff like that, which is really cool. And of course, we are getting zombie mode, so that's returning to the game, and they didn't give out a bunch of information here, aside from we are getting 2 new maps, and the storyline is being continued from the other games previously, and they said that they're just doing their really best to try to make sure that the zombie experience is really authentic. And of course, all of this new kind of like momentum and movement animation stuff with your characters is going to be in this new zombie mode. So it's going to be a lot easier and probably more fun to be cutting these zombies around. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of multiplayer news here or anything with Warzone. I know they did tease it at the end of the video, but either way, we're going to have to wait until August for the more in-depth kind of multiplayer and Warzone coverage. But either way, that's all we got for this one, guys. I'm personally actually really hyped for this game. I know it's kind of crazy to hear myself say this, but it looks really promising, so we're just gonna have to wait to see what the multiplayer and Warzone details are looking like. If you guys enjoyed this one, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm still Solo, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.